Hello, my loves. Welcome or welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I'm Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Welcome to the family. I am honored to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. So this is the third time that I am filming this intro. And you would think that this would not be a difficult intro for me to film. It really shouldn't be. I'm overcomplicating things right now. But this reading, getting into the creative flow, is actually inspired by one of my subscribers, and it is Galaxy Girl. And she asked me in one of my most recent readings to talk about how I stay so productive. And I've literally tried twice to explain this. And I tell you guys, I don't have a good explanation for how I do what I do. I wish I did. If I can find some sort of structure to give you guys the advice based off of what I do, I absolutely will formulate a reading or something. I promise you I will formulate something. But sometimes there are certain parts of this journey that we go on and here's one of those keywords that has been kind of scattered across a lot of my readings in different piles and, whatever lately. There are parts of this journey that we'll go through where we realize there are things that we do that are ineffable. They are unable to be explained. There are no words in the English language to explain it. I usually chalk up my productivity, my ability to channel, my ability to do these things and to film the way that I film and film the videos and whatnot. I usually chalk it up to my ADHD. I really do. But in all honesty, I did not do these things. I didn't write 7 books in a year that I did this year. I did not do that prior to this year. Filming for hours like this, I didn't do that prior to this year. And this past spring of 2022, it would take me significantly longer than it does now. I've learned different tools, techniques, tips, and tricks for my own process. But the thing is my process is very, very unique to my energy, my style of channeling, my gifts, all of that. And it's not, I want to assure you guys, none of what I'm saying here has anything to do with bravado or me wanting to gatekeep or not share with you guys how I put my videos together and whatnot. I genuinely don't have a firm explanation yet. I honestly think that I'm still in the process of learning and developing before I can teach you guys, which is why I didn't want to structure a video or do a let's talk video about how I do everything. Because if I can't explain it for myself, I don't want to try and teach you guys. It's disingenuous in nature. I won't do that on this channel. So instead, what I wanted to do was help get you back in touch with what it feels like to be in that creative flow. For me, it's like being alive. It's electric. It's this little kid wonder and awe. It's almost as though you could wake up one night, go outside, look at the stars, and suddenly they just start raining across the sky. You just see shooting star after shooting star, and there isn't a meteor shower and nobody else gets to see it but you. And it's like, oh my gosh, I had that one moment in my life I had that moment in my life, and now I know that there's magic everywhere. That one moment awoke something within me that spreads to every moment in my life now. That to me is what it feels like to be in the creative flow. Time doesn't matter. Where you are doesn't matter. Who you are doesn't matter. All that matters is what you are doing, what you're creating. For me, I get that way when I channel. I get that way when I write books. I get that way when I get into some super exciting conversation or feel just utterly enthralled by something that I'm learning. And I just go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole until I feel like I've absorbed so much knowledge that my brain is going to explode out of my head if I don't stop. These are what it feels like to me to be in the creative flow. But we all step into this flow state in a different way. And so instead of me trying to talk about how I produce videos and get them out there while I still can't explain it yet, I want to help you guys feel creative again, because when you feel creative and you step into the creative flow, your productivity skyrockets. So without further ado, now that I did not plan on the intro being this long, but I got into the creative flow, guys. We're going to go over the piles. Each of the piles has a key card that are the Archangel Gabriel cards, which is veered towards, actually more logical and reasonable stuff, ironically. But each of them have a card, and then pile 1, you have the Kriya symbol. Pile 2, you have the Tibetan fire serpent. Pile 3, you have Iava. And pile 4, you have Shanti. And I am going to give you guys a little bit of time, some music, and let you guys get tapped in and allow for you to really get in touch with what you feel pulled to help you step back into your own creativity, your own creative flow. This is about you really feeling that sense of aliveness again, that sense of electricity one more time, or, permanently. Whatever it is that you're seeking, set that as your intention for what this message is going to bring you, because I'm going to do it very generally for getting you into the creative flow. You set the specifics and then allow yourself to be led to the pile. We're going to do this collaboratively, you and I. You as the viewer, me as the reader. I trust that the energy that you put out as you set that intention will dictate how this energy will come in for me. So without further ado, let's get you guys some music. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the Kriya symbol, this is your message about getting you back into that creative flow. So the card that you chose is actually the card that says Law of Attraction. It says, keep your thoughts positive and surround yourself with positive people and situations, and you will attract more positivity into your life. And I know I usually set each side of the cards up with intentions, but I wanted Spirit and your guides to really talk about this, because these two go together beautifully. They flow together. They essentially are complementing each other, because the Kriya symbol talks about manifestation. It talks about using the symbol to ground your desires into your physical world, to use this symbol from like the waist down, I think it is. Yeah, from the hips down to the feet, in order to draw in the people, the situations, the circumstances that will help to bring your desires and your dreams and your wishes into reality. It also helps you turn any creative project into something that is absolutely possible, manifested through helping you become more aware of practical steps that you can take. Now, when we talk about the law of attraction, it's not necessarily about practicality, but it is about an alignment in a way within yourself. Because with the law of attraction, you need to understand how you feel about yourself, the situation, the possibility of it coming in, the universe, spirit, your guides, this, that, and the other thing. It's about understanding the emotionality of it first, understanding what you think about it, both consciously and unconsciously, and aligning everything into harmony and balance. And knowing that once you have this, like your entire being is on board with the idea, the notion, whatever it is that you want to create or bring into your life, that's when you start working with the energies of it to bring it in. That's where Kriya comes in. So for you, pile one, this is about your belief system more than anything. If you want to be in a creative flow, do you believe that you can be in a creative flow? How does it feel to you? What does it make you, what does it make you think? What does it make you feel? If you were to sit here and say right now, everyone that surrounds me 100% supports me. The energy that surrounds me 100% supports me. What are they supporting you in? Do they support you just as who you are? And if that's the case, then is who you are someone who is creative or not? And if you are someone who is creative, then can you engage in your creativity in the way that you want? It's kind of like this series of steps. Give me just a moment, guys. Hi, baby. How is your outside? Hi, Willow. All right. Willow has joined us in the office. So it's the energy here is about creating these steps. It's baby stepping your way into confidence in essence. But it's understanding that you have this ability within you already to set yourself free, to release yourself from all of the constructs that have been holding you back, that have been making you feel as though you can't do this. And so then the more that you feel that way, the more it feeds into your mindset, and that mindset needs to change. To get you into the flow of creativity, your guides are saying, why don't you try a new path, and not, I don't mean a new path in like, okay, for instance, let me give it to you this way. Say you are a YouTuber or a tarot reader on YouTube, or you are an author, or you're a painter or a sculptor or something like that, and you're successful in what you do. You are skilled at it, you love it, but you just are feeling as though you can't touch your inspiration right now. Okay, this is the situation. When I say a new path, I don't mean walk away from what you're skilled at, what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and what makes you happy and creative. I mean, find a new path back to your own internal inspiration. Find a new way, a new path that helps you come back to yourself and what you are here to do, what you want to do in this world. Sometimes we we lump too many things together when we hear find a new path, find a new direction, go on a new beginning, whatever. We have a mental construct where it kind of glitches out and we start thinking that we're doing the wrong thing. But what if you're doing the right thing? You're just struggling with keeping your mind and your heart aligned to it because some things in the physical world move slower than what our energy does. And understanding that part of it is one of those law of attraction things. Knowing and being in the fullness of it being here already is not always the easiest thing for us to do. But sometimes that's the only thing that we can do at the time. So before we, I could probably keep going with this, but I'm getting a like, let's get back to the cards kind of energy from the guides. So I want to get a look at your overall energy, which is what this card is. And then I'm going to pull some dream decoder cards just to see how your dreaming life at night and your kind of meditative visions, if you guys meditate regularly, as well as your unconscious mind might be influencing. I'm not going to set a huge intention of it being one specific area. I'm just going to let your guides tell me what it is and allow the cards and the images to show me. So let's get a look at where you're sitting right now when it comes to bringing in creative inspiration so that you can get back into that creative flow, because that is the core of what I feel like you guys are struggling with, is that inspiration, that spark, that's what I want to do. So let's get a look. All right, we've got the Ace of Water. And I'm not reading these cards. I might explain this to every pile, but for you guys especially, when I got prepped for this reading, I was like, I don't want these to be read as tarot cards. I want to read it as I get intuitive inspiration and awarenesses. So with this, we've got the seahorse. And to me, the seahorse is always divine masculine energy. The reason for that is because it helps give a new perspective to divine masculine energy, because the male seahorse is actually the one that gives birth. And in this one, it's the seahorse is holding what looks like a pearl. So it's kind of like your energy right now is your divine masculine is holding this. You'd almost think it's a pearl of wisdom, but it isn't quite, because the pearl belongs with the clam. It belongs with the oyster. It does not belong with the seahorse. So it's kind of like your divine masculine, your go-getter energy, I'm going to take this inspiration and turn it into something creative. The part of you that should be taking those directed actions in order to initiate the energy with the universe, to show the universe, hey, I'm coming to the table. I'm doing my due diligence. I'm ready for that. It's holding a pearl of wisdom that doesn't belong to it. So what I'm getting here is that you may have had too much influence from something outside of yourself. It could be someone said something, did something, responded in a certain way, or alternately didn't respond at all. I'm being shown like somebody who is trying to find an agent for a book deal, and they're getting no's, doors slammed in their faces. And it's like you are one door shy of that yes, but that last door made you grab a hold of the no, and you're carrying this no around with you. And so every time you think about doing what you want to do, and it doesn't have to be getting an agent for a book, it's just what came to me. Every time you think about doing what you want to do, you look down at this pearl and you think it's wisdom. And so you try and operate in that modality, in that way, in that energy, but it's not true to who you are. And so your divine masculine is caught up trying to take care of something that isn't his to take care of. It's not for you to handle someone else's perspective or someone else's viewpoint. It's up to you to be like, this is what inspires me. This is what I love. This is what I want to do. And it doesn't matter if somebody else doesn't see the vision that you see for your life. It matters what you see for your life and your vision. Your divine masculine wants more than anything right now to put down the pearl that is not wise. It's not a pearl of wisdom, and it shouldn't be in the hands of your divine masculine. Your divine masculine should have its hands on something that makes you feel alive and inspired. So let's find out if there is an internal source of this, because I am picking up a lot of exterior energy, especially with it being divine masculine energy. That exterior energy can really, it can spark your divine masculine to really go kind of, I just heard off the rails. And I don't mean that in like a crazy negative way. I mean like in the wrong direction, in the wrong way, in the way you don't want. And I apologize, guys. I'm having a little bit of technical delays and whatnot. We are approaching a Mercury retrograde, the last one of the calendar year, plus with Mars retrograded in Gemini, we're getting a lot of Mercury retrograde. So guides for pile 1. Can we see what it is that is internally, okay, there we go. Internally impacting. All right, let me put these down. Okay, so yeah, see, we've got, this is the card of people and social media. So I'm not saying it's necessarily social media, but it's more about the thoughts, the opinions, the beliefs, the words, the expressions of other people. For me, I got to a phase this year that I never thought I would. I deleted my Facebook Messenger. I deleted my Twitter. I deleted, like outright deleted my TikTok. Just completely deleted my account on TikTok. Because I was like, I need a break from all the exterior energy and all the exterior noise and everybody else's opinions and beliefs and struggles and temptations and this and that, because it was clouding me. I kept telling you I was picking up exterior energy. Those exterior energies are now like living in your subconscious mind. And it's like you're just constantly scrolling a news feed inside of your own brain of this person's opinion and that person's opinion and this person's belief and that person's belief. And the more that you interact with all of that, instead of sitting back and going, okay, higher self, guides, spirit, can you please help me clear this clutter, cleanse this out of my energy, out of my system, get this out of my mind and help me get back to me, back to the core, back to the basics, back to what I need for myself. Help me see what I can surround myself with that does nothing more or less than uplift me instead of keep me in a state of constant distraction and monkey mind and going through what everybody else says and not being true to myself. What can I do? Help me, please. Help me, guide me, lead me, teach me. These are things that these help me, lead me, guide me, teach me. These are things that you can talk to your guides about. You can literally say those words and then sit and allow yourself to be filled with some sort of guidance, some sort of inspiration, and then trust what you get. Everybody else is going to have their own opinion, but their opinion is not you. Their opinion is based off of their frame of reference, their perspective. They don't exist within your mind unless you give them space. And there are too many people taking up rental space inside of your brain right now. So sometimes it's better for us to be like, I'm going to disconnect. You know, if I feel like I'm confused, like I can't figure this out, I'm trying to understand this, I'm trying to get back to this part of myself, this inspiration within myself. But every time I go out into the outside world and I look for inspiration, I get so caught up in all the drama and all the bullshit and all of this and all of that. And then it gets twisted and built up and so on and so forth. And it's like the day just slips away and you lose everything. And now you just have to start at square one the next day. It's time to take a step back. And this is why I'm saying there's so many people in your energy that your divine masculine is holding the pearls of wisdom that are not your wisdom. They may be wise notions, wise ideas, but they're not your notions or your ideas. And until they come from internally, the more noise you have in your mind. And that does really impact your ability to attract what is right for you. You start attracting all of the excess noise, people who are noisy. And I don't mean that in like banging pots and pans. I mean that in the sense of very opinionated people. I am a very opinionated person. However, I understand that you're on your own path. I also understand that when I sit here in this chair and I read these cards for you, my opinion does not matter. My beliefs do not matter. I'm here for you. I'm here to read the energy. You need to have yourself surrounded by people who are like, yeah, it's not about me, it's about you, who give you what you give to them in reciprocity, in equality. So that and at the same time, you need to give to yourself in order to be able to receive it from the outside world, because Kriya really is that as within, so without, and as above, so below energy. So you have to align these things, and it's really hard to do when your mind is so cluttered from everything going on in the outside world that you're losing yourself in more noise than you realize, more perspectives and takes than you realize. I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and I noticed like I can't do this on a regular basis anymore because everybody has a meme and has a funny take on this and a funny take on that, or we all are picking up this energy or that energy. And while we're there for our collectives, it can be very confusing if you're not in the right energy, in the right mind state. When you know, hey, this is what I'm going on to engage in, and then you ask Spirit, please bring me only what is for this purpose. That's when things shift and change, and all of these noises and these things that have been keeping you from getting in touch with the true nature of who you are, that's when all of these things start going silent. They go silent because it's about hearing the inner voice. And the outside world has to be silenced in order for that inner voice to be heard, because the inner voice is very soft. It's very gentle. It's very loving. It's very caring. So let's get a look at just a little bit more with your cards. And I'm not going to be pulling any additional cards. I just want to let the messages flow here. So we have, I trust that my powerful intentions combined with my faith are enough to allow my vision to become my reality. See, this is trusting in yourself. There is nothing on this card that shows that other people are interacting with this. This is about you trusting that your intentions, your faith are enough, that what you envision for yourself is possible. There is so much here with the law of attraction for you. And it isn't about it's not about the guru style of law of attraction. It's about knowing that your creative endeavors are meant to be fruitful in this life and allowing for that to happen. Let's keep going. Yeah, we have change. It's changing the perspective, changing this noise, this clutter, this cloudiness. It's when you are ready to sail above, that's when you really will sail above, but you have to make that decision. It's a conscious choice that you make. When you make that conscious choice, that is you setting a very powerful intention of, I will listen to myself, my guides and spirit. I will not listen to this person, that person, and whoever to give me inspiration. It would be like me sitting here being like, oh, you should paint a picture of a dove eating an orange on top of, I don't know, Mount Vesuvius, something like that. I've had friends in my brain, so Vesuvius is in my brain. I don't know. But if I were to say, that's exactly what your inspiration is supposed to be, I would not be being true to myself nor to you as a reader. And I would want you to walk away from my channel because that would just be my ego trying to control what you do. What you need, or not what you need to, what your guides are asking you to realize is what is contained in this pearl. What is it that you're holding on to? Is it yours or is it other people's? Can you trust in yourself enough to not listen to what other people say you should do and create and say, I'm going to change my perspective to what I want, what I need, what is right for me. I'm going to clear all of this out and I'm going to make a conscious decision to no longer engage in this kind of behavior or this kind of cycle where other people are taking up space in my brain rent free because it's slowing down or outright stopping my ability to get into the creative flow space. Hi, Willow. She's super like, Mom, it's time for bed. All right, so let's see what is over here. Look, fulfillment. Yeah, big yawn. And feeling good will bring me far more than whatever I thought I needed. And this, whatever I thought I needed is that pearl. Whatever you think that you need in order to feel fulfilled, whatever other people have said, you need this or you need that. It's like a painter who is told, well, you need this specific type of oil paint. You need this specific brand of acrylic in order to really make a real painting. Or someone who reads cards and, well, you can't really do this unless you have this deck. Or you can't really do this unless you have this deck. Whatever outside opinions or beliefs are telling you that you need in order to be there, those are, the more that you feed into them and feel into them, the more you attract that energy back. So it's time to align with your inner world to get yourself back into the flow of creativity by saying, you know what? I appreciate your guys' opinion. I appreciate your take. I appreciate that you may have this amount of experience, but my way is not your way. My life is not your life. My creations are not your creations. I have my own creative endeavors and I am ready to step fully into the energy of being a creative being and knowing that I have all the love and support from the divine, from the universe, from my guides, and that I am an endless well filled with inspirational ideas. I feel good about myself. I feel good about my life. I feel good about creativity. I feel good about what is coming to me because what is coming to me is even better than it is right now. And right now it's pretty freaking amazing because I am so inspired every moment of every day. And the more that you do that, the more that you change your mindset into this awareness of, I have faith in what I'm doing. I know I'm enough. I know I'm more than enough. I feel great. I am fulfilled 100%. It doesn't matter if you're literally in the moment of changing this, you're fooling yourself in one way or the other. It's about silencing all of the voices of everybody in the past, of all the ways in which, the mainstream media or social media will try and dissuade you from this or that or whatever. It's about you trusting yourself. When you think about stepping into the flow of creativity, the number one thing for you pile ones, the number one message is about trusting yourself. It's about realizing what power you have as a creative being, as a person born into a creative existence in a creative world with limitless creativity at your fingertips, through your fingertips, with your fingertips. You could be the most skilled finger painter in the world and paint just astounding paintings using just your fingers. But the more that you allow other people to be like, well, that's what kindergartners do. You can't be a professional finger painter. Watch me. Like, literally, that's what your guides want you to do, is sit there and say, you know what? Watch me. Watch me prove you wrong. Watch me do this, because this makes me feel alive. This makes me feel passionate. This makes me feel happy, good, fulfilled. The more that you do that and are willing to allow for a change of your surroundings, which includes change of people in your surroundings, it's not always easy to drop friends, but sometimes you need to. Sometimes you need to. The more that you feed to yourself, believe in yourself, give to yourself, love yourself, be true to yourself, the more that you get people who come into your life who do that, who give you all of those same things. And they do it because they believe in you. They do it because they see you. They do it because they know you can do it. It's this, you get what you're giving out energetically, and the universe and spirit and your guides are like, you need to start using this law of attraction to better your life, to make these changes, to ease the changes that you're making so that the outside world no longer holds weight. Social media, other people's opinions, other people's beliefs doesn't hold weight. Allow us to bring you to what you need. For me, I got to tell you guys the truth. For me, I used to consume pick a cards constantly. And it would get so confusing. It would get so confusing because I wasn't listening to myself. So my guides were like, nothing's going to make sense anymore. And it happened. It stopped making sense. Then I started going on to social media, and I ended up feeling drained and confused even further. And so I stopped doing that. And eventually the universe was like, maybe you should get a library card. So I got a library card. And the universe was like, maybe you should try this. Maybe you should try that. And I've watched my life change slowly but surely, because the universe is now, and my guides are now leading me to the little bits and pieces that help bring me a new piece of clarity, a new aha moment internally. Instead of listening to everybody else's noise, I'm listening to what the universe is asking me to do and my guides are asking me to do, and learning how to discern and decipher what is right for me based off of what feels good to me. This is something that you can utilize in your life, Pile One, to not just get into the creative flow, but to stay in the creative flow. It's like, as soon as you excise these other people, the noise, you start feeling better. And when you feel better, you do better. The more you make these changes and you really, really step into the true faith and belief in yourself and feeling good and knowing that you're loved and knowing that you're supported and knowing how creative you are, the more you create. And it seems so simplistic to say, and it actually is that simple, but we overcomplicate it, and other people's opinions and beliefs overcomplicate it. Simplify everything to the best of your ability and allow yourself to believe in yourself and to feel good about yourself, and watch as your life changes. All right, Pile One, this is all I've got for you guys. This was really, really fun. So I want to say thank you so much. I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for your energy. Thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between our energies. I want to say thank you so much, Spirit. Spirit, this was such a fun reading, and I am really, really honored and excited about how this is flowing and working. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you. All right, Pile One, if this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming readings. Please check the description box below for the variety of links, donation links and booking personal readings, all of those kind of links, as well as to my second channel. They're all down in the description box. December 23rd, I am doing a collaborative reading with Odessa Mall and Damselflies. Make sure you guys tune into that. Everybody who likes, comments, subscribes on all 3 videos will be entered into a free 15-minute reading from me. So make sure you guys check that out. And yeah, pile 1. Let me know in the comment section below how this resonated. Let me know how you guys are doing. You guys know I do genuinely care. So, all right, pile 1. This is all I got for you guys. I love you guys. I know you can do it. Drop other people's pearls and really, really know yourself, because I think that you are capable of conquering the world in a very artistic way. All right, pile 1. Thank you again. I love you all. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the Tibetan fire serpent symbol, this is your message about getting you into the creative flow. So I never really know what to expect when I set the intention for these readings. And pile 1 did not go how I expected it to. So I'm really curious to see what spirit and your guides want to talk about when it comes to getting you back into your own creative flow. So with the Tibetan fire serpent, this is a symbol that is placed on your back during a Reiki attunement in order to help align your chakras and awaken that Shakti or the divine feminine or the Kundalini energy within you. And it is drawn from the crown all the way down to the root. And the spiral is where the root is. And when it's done, the intention is to open up the chakra system, to align the chakra system, and to really get that inner energetic fire going. To me, this is talking so much about you guys getting back in alignment with your own creative flow, with your own inspiration, with the ways in which inspiration really flows and works within your individual or your unique system. And this could be your mental system, your emotional system. You know, we talk about these different bodies of energy that we have, the emotional body, the mental body, the physical body. We talk about these things, but they're also sort of a system where they interact with each other, and they send signals much like the brain sends signals to the body in order to interact in certain ways. Hi, Willow. What you doing? She just like walked in and started chewing on stuff. All right. So your message from Archangel Gabriel is listen only to love. Don't allow fear to distract you from your divine mission. And to me, this combined with the Tibetan fire serpent, this is about actually opening up a conversation with your fears in a state of love. It's like, I'm being brought back to my very first Let's Talk video that had everything to do with imposter syndrome. And it's like realizing I may have this imposter syndrome, but if I talk to myself in my imposter syndrome in a state of love, if I tell myself I love myself, I love the fears that I hold because they teach me about my strength. If I tell myself that I love the anxieties that I have because they teach me about being calm and centered and grounded. If I tell myself I love the part that feels like an imposter because it shows me how much I belong in this creative field, the more that you open that energy flow of love in communication with all these different parts of yourself, these fears that you hold on to, from there, your fears no longer feel fearful. It's giving them this protective bubble of space. It's a lot like the way that I view the channel that I'm building here and the community that I'm building, where I see you guys as when you come here, you are coming here and I am providing you a safe space, a bubble of space on the internet in which you can come here and feel seen. You can come here and feel heard. You can come here and feel understood. You can come here and feel as though you have family, you belong. And you may not feel that in other places in your life. And I understand that because I have been through that. And that's why I wanted to create that for my community, because we tend to build the things that we never had. Give me just one moment. All right, guys, I apologize for that break, I had to go let Willow into Eliza's room because Jade is in there and Willow just wants her best friend. So she was sitting outside whining for it. So what I was saying is we tend to create the things that we never had. In this case, you're being guided to realize that sometimes our fears will come in and sound as though they know what they're talking about, but they really don't. Our fears and the fears of others really don't have any idea what it's like to live fearlessly. And that's because they're encased in fear. I know that seems kind of like, no shit, Monica. I get that. But that's, the channeled message that came out. So what I'm going to do with the cards is I'm going to get a look at this card right here, which represents your energy right now in regards to creation. I apologize. I haven't done that on my channel in forever. Just like randomly yawned in the middle of channeling a message. That means I'm moving a lot of energy. So yay. So I'm going to get a look at this. It's going to show me kind of where you're at, your status right now. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these. I've got these Dream Oracle cards over here. It's the Dream Decoder deck. And we're just going to see how your dream life, your conscious and subconscious minds, or subconscious and unconscious minds might be influencing you being in the creative flow. So for the most part with you guys, I feel like you don't have a huge issue with getting into the creative flow, but you might have an issue with staying in the creative flow. And first of all, I genuinely don't believe that we're meant to be in the creative flow all the time, as in we're meant to be constantly churning out creations. I don't believe that. And I know, I got to tell you guys, I know the perception is on my channel that I do that, but I will pre-film when I feel myself in the creative flow. I will surrender to it and pre-film for a week, 2 weeks in advance, even up to a month in advance. And then I'll step back and do other things. I'll crochet. I will, let's see, what else will I do? I'll read books. I'll cook. I'll clean. I'll spend time with my family. Right now I am binge watching Vampire Diaries. And then directly after that, I'm going to go watch the originals because they just put the originals back on Netflix. And I've been waiting for that forever. And so 2 of my reader friends, and one of which is like my bestie, have Vampire Diaries and the originals as their favorite TV shows. And I was like, well, let's find some common ground. Let me watch your favorite TV show. And then one of my other friends, like my bestie, is going to watch one of my favorite shows. So yeah, okay. I got off on a total tangent, but that's my point is that we get into this creative flow, and when we surrender to it, our creative abilities skyrocket. When we get into that flow, but staying in that flow at times can be hard. Say you're midway through your creative flow and you know that everything is going really well. That's when fears pop up, because fears are like, let me see what I can do here. Let me see what I can fix. Let me see what I can take away. And we don't want that to happen. So let's get a look at what you're sitting at, your energy. See the 10 of fire. So I set the intention when I shuffled these cards that I'm not going to read them as traditional tarot. I'm going to look at this and kind of get a feel for it. Yawning again. So with this 10 of fire, with this card in particular, she is surrounded by things that she's written. It actually looks like music. Let me see. Yeah, it actually looks like music. So she's composed something, and to me, this says, I don't think it's good enough. I don't believe in it enough. So I'm going to burn it down. And guys, I've been there. I've been there. And I know that I've said this before on my channel, and I know I will continue to say this. I've been in the state where I felt like what I was doing was not the right thing, was not enough, and I have burnt it down to the ground. I do not ever suggest doing that, because we never know what our creations can do for another person. We diminish ourselves, but we're not meant to. So the state that you're in right now is like, oh my God, I have to destroy it. This is garbage. This is crap. I can't do it. I can't finish it. If I can't finish it, then what's the point in keeping it? Because am I just like hoarding things? It's like this kind of mental playground of fears where it's like, okay, I'm getting a really weird image. When I was a kid, we had on the playground, we would take our backpacks and we'd, put them in specific places and use them as stepping stones. So you can move from one playground equipment to the other, because we were playing lava. So everything on the ground was lava, and then there was a lava monster. And so we would want to constantly avoid the lava. So this is telling me that you guys feel like I just totally lost that channel. I was seeing backpacks. Okay, so back to the lava analogy. Spirit, can you please bring me back to this channel? Okay, you may feel as though you have to create based off of what everybody else wants. So say that you're not the lava monster in this scenario. You're the creator. You are trying to get from point A to point B. You're in the middle, and all of a sudden it feels like the stepping stones have disappeared. That's what it's like to let your fears come in and get you out and pull you out of your creative flow. There we go. Back to the playground. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so your mind is like this playground of, I have to do this and this and this, and I have to go in this order, and I have to move from point A to point B. So you're playing the lava game. Your fears are the lava monsters, and they keep rearing their ugly heads and taking one of the stepping stones away. Over time, those stepping stones disappear, and then you have to look from one point or one piece of playground equipment to the other piece of playground equipment and go, how can I get there? If I step down, I'm going to burn. So if I step off of where I'm at, I'm going to lose my flow, because it's just going to go away. It's this fear that if you create, it's not going to be good enough. And if you create, it's not going to be finished. And if you create, it's not going to be accepted. And if you create, it's like, I want to create, but, and then you fill in the blank after but with all of these different fears and anxieties. This is about showing those aspects of yourself that you love them, and not that you're trying to destroy your own inner creative spark. That fear distracts you from your divine mission. Your divine mission is to get from point A to point B. And please, please remember that this is a metaphor. We never go from point A to point B. We go from point A to point 82 and then over to Z and then up to 12. And then sometimes we might make it to B, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Again, we've got musical instruments and music notes. So you guys may be musicians and be very afraid of sharing your music. I get that energy a lot on my channel. Musicians, singers, a lot of that kind of energy pops up on my channel quite often. No? Okay. See, there's so many that keep wanting to pop out. It's like, yeah, see, again. And we've got fire. Being unprepared, being late, feeling trapped. Yeah. I'm not going to take these. And in fact, I'm not going to pull anymore because I think we've seen the core of this. So the core of this has everything to do with music. Right now, you're struggling in this area of being free to really embrace and enjoy your own creations, your own music. This could even be the music of your soul. It's like you have this inspiration, but can you actually go towards it? Can you find yourself in a state of believing and having faith in yourself and what you know is right for you to create? Can you go on this journey of awakening to your own the song of your soul? If this isn't music in specific, which I would be surprised if it wasn't, no offense guys, but I just would. We've got music, we've got pages of composed music plus musical instruments. This is about you feeling as though your music isn't good enough. Now, if we take that into a metaphorical sense, this is about the song of your soul. Is what you're here to create really good enough? Can you start and finish in this journey? And can you listen to a state of love instead of a state of fear from within? And I know that can be a challenge. It really can be because, fear screams at us all the time. Fear is one of the loudest voices in our heads, but it's a fallacy. And it only screams as loud as it does because it's afraid. Because it's afraid. It's afraid of being right. It's afraid of being true. It's afraid of being worthy, afraid of being whole and healthy and healed, afraid of being seen and heard and worthy. Worthy just keeps coming through. Worthy, worthy, worthy. All right, so we're going to get a better look at the cards. I didn't have any intention of actually pulling tarot cards today. I may with you guys, but I don't have that intention right now. We're going to see where we go. So we have illumination. Okay. If you look at this illumination card, there's actually nothing illuminating this scene. There's no light in the sky that's illuminating this scene. Illumination comes from within when you see through the fog, when you see through the cloudiness. So when you are in a state of fear and you feel like I can't stay in this creative flow, I can't finish my creation. So what's the point in continuing on, or what's the point in trying to hold on to it? You're in a state of fogginess, of cloudiness, of confusion and clutter. This is asking you to allow for an illumination to come in. And an illumination doesn't always involve someone shining a light on it. Sometimes it involves you just staring into the mist. Look into the mist and see what you see. Because what you see is what you need to. I don't want to say it's the truth of the situation, because right now what I'm feeling is a lot of fears and hesitance. And when I feel that, it's like if I look into the mist, I'm going to see the big bad wolf. And that's not necessarily the case. You're not necessarily going to see the big bad wolf. You may see a projection of what you think the big bad wolf is going to be, but that doesn't mean that's actually what you're seeing. You could be seeing a big bad wolf that is representing your fears. And in reality, the wolf is nothing more or less than a really tame dog. It's like Willow. She could bark a big game, but she's the tiny little puppy. She's a permanent puppy. So it says, I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me. So this now gives a new layer, a new level of energy, of awareness. So when fears kick in, we can either freeze and go into what's called analysis paralysis, or when fears kick in, we can go, oh shit, I gotta go. I gotta move. It's like that fight or flight kind of thing. We talk about fight or flight in terms of trauma and reactionary nature. So you either fight your way through or you run away. And fight mode oftentimes is where you freeze up and you have to analyze everything. And then, oh my goodness, you guys. And then you really start battling. flight mode means I'm just going to go. You guys get in kind of like this mixed state that I feel with this. I slow down and listen to the guidance available to me. You get into this mixed state of my fears are telling me I'm never going to finish. And so if I don't push myself to finish until I break down, I won't finish. And you don't allow yourself to slow down. And that's how you end up burning out, because you're not giving yourself the time and the rest and the need and the space that you need in order for all of your guidance to come in and in order for you to know which steps to take, because fear is running the show. Ooh, buddy. Okay. I am in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. Your guides are really being smart Alex here. They're literally being like, hey, we are standing right here. We are ready and willing to help you. But you have to reach out to us. You have to ask us for help. We can't do anything until you ask us for help. And if you're going and going and going and listening to these fears, you can't hear us. You have amazing guidance right here available to you. Are you going to listen to the guidance? Slow down and listen to the guidance. Allow for some sort of illumination to come through, or are you going to continue to run from the big bad wolf? I can't answer that for you guys. That's something your guides want you to ask. And then we have pleasure. See, again, now I get why I was talking about TV shows. Because I enjoy watching TV. I enjoy it. I don't see it as me escaping my life, because I don't do it to escape my life anymore. What I do is I do it for the sheer enjoyment of experiencing a storyline that is exciting and dramatic and has all of the fun trappings of the chaos and mayhem and romance of the human existence without me having to engage in it. So I can stay firm, grounded, centered, and in a state of inner peace, and I don't have to engage in the drama, but I can watch other people's dramas. This is why I love watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, because I know that they cut those to make them more dramatic. And I love it because I don't have to be that in my life. I don't have to engage in that in my life. But I still get to watch other people do it. Now, for you, pile 2, if you hadn't noticed, my throat chakra keeps locking up, and it has not done this until I started talking about pleasure. About the things that you find pleasurable, the things that are enjoyable for you. If you're in this constant go, 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 go state, you don't actually sit down and enjoy what you're doing. This is about awakening the inner divine feminine within you, to listen to the voice of love, to hear the voice of your guides and the love that they have for you. And to feel free and safe to speak your truth into this world, to speak your truth about what you enjoy, what brings you pleasure. What are you in awe of? What makes you feel illuminated from the inside out? What fears are you currently in the midst of battling? And can you slow yourself down, take a step back, and ask your guides to help? Your guides are going to whisper love, support, encouragement. They will never tell you to keep running at a brick wall. They would never do that. For you, especially pile 2, to get you back into your creative flow, you have to start loving your fears, nurturing your fears, and listening to the guidance that is available to you from spirit, from your guides, from the divine, from the higher realms, understanding that they're here to bring light and illumination and awareness to you and your life, to bring you into a state of feeling pleasure, feeling joy, feeling musical, feeling as though you can genuinely play the music that you want to play in this world. Sing the song of your soul. Go on this journey of self-discovery and really share yourself and your song with the world. Realizing that it's the right thing to do. Let yourself be guided through it. That's how you get back into the creative flow. Okay, pile 2, this is all I am seeing for you guys. I want to say thank you so much for being here, for the energy that you bring to my channel, for the awarenesses that you bring to the world, for everything that you do. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between our energies. And I want to say thank you so much to Spirit. Oh, Spirit. I am yawning today. And I wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you for the energy of pile 2. Thank you for the energy and the awareness and the messages that I am able to channel through me into the world for you to reach more and more and more. I am truly, truly honored to do the work that we do here in the world. Thank you. All right, pile 2, if this resonated, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming readings. In the description box below, you're going to find links to my author page, to donate, to book a personal reading, as well as a link to rising sign messages. So don't forget to check those links out. I did want to let you guys know, on December 23rd, I am doing a collaboration with Odessa Mall and Damselflies. And anyone and everyone who likes, comments, and subscribes to all 3 channels during that time will be entered into a drawing to win a free 15-minute reading from me. So make sure you guys do all of that and check that reading out. All right, my loves, this is all I'm seeing. Let me know in the comment section below how this resonated. I'd love to interact with you guys. If you're new to my community, please don't be shy. Please announce yourself. Be like, hey, I'm here, because we love new people in our community. And this is such a warm, loving, genuine community. And we really are quite open. So, all right. I love you all. I will see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the Iava symbol, this is your message from your guides about being in the creative flow and helping with your productivity. So, pile 3, first of all, the main focus of the Iava stone that your guides led me to was about dissolving misconceptions, removing all these misconceptions. And the card that you got from the Archangel Gabriel is time management. It says, place your priorities at the top of your to-do list and don't allow distractions to deter your focus. Now, I want to, I'm getting this kind of tough love energy from your guides of like, if you want to live a creative life, if you want to be creative, you have to allow for the time to be creative. It kind of seems like I'm speaking common sense, but sometimes we need that little reminder of like, okay, but I want to have a creative lifestyle. I want to be creative. I want to create. But you can want that all you want. You can sit there in a state of wanting, in a state of desire, but are you putting forth the time for it? And when we talk about dissolving misconceptions, what your guides are really talking about is the misconception that you don't have enough time in your life or during the day or during this or during that or for this or for that in order to really allow yourself to be creative. When we hyper-analyze and be very critical of our, criticize is the word I was looking for, not criticize, criticize ourselves for how we engage in creativity, whether we are being perfect, whether it is coming out exactly how we want, whether we have enough time for this, we have enough time for that, this, that, and the other thing. We're actually stifling our creativity with stress and anxiety and worry and doubt and fear. Those are all merely distractions of the shadow that is afraid to be successful, the shadow that is afraid to shine out. Whether it's because you, maybe in the past when you were a kid, your creative side wasn't nurtured. It was kind of like the energy that I'm getting is like once you got out of elementary school and art was no longer required, you were expected not to art, not to create, not to do these things that you genuinely love, that really bring you fulfillment and passion. And the other thing about this is some of you may be parents. I spend a lot of time in my life saying, I don't have the time to write. I don't have the time to create. I don't have the time for this and the time for that. I've got kids. I've got a house. I've got this. I've got that. These are misconceptions that we build within our minds that we don't have the time to give to ourselves and to our creativity. And when you tell yourself over and over and over again, I don't have the time to do this and do that, then you actually tend to stretch out the length of time it takes to do any one mundane, menial task in your life. So for instance, say, I don't have time to paint that painting that I have been inspired to do because I need to do the dishes. And when you say that, now you're creating a misconception that the dishes are going to take you a very long time. So now you're standing at the kitchen sink and you're actually actively distracting yourself from doing the chore at hand because internally, mentally, you have created a construct that it needs to take a lot longer than it actually does. So you're less productive. You're not using your time wisely because you have convinced yourself that your time has to be spent in, excuse me, this was happening during pile 2 too. I was just yawning. I don't think there's a connection. I don't feel an energetic connection. That's why I mentioned it, but definitely moving a lot of energy. But we base our concept of time based off of what everybody else says. You have to do this and it takes this amount of time. Now it takes that amount of time because somebody has told you it does. Who says? When I first started channeling, I was talking to another reader, and it was like, well, when I channel, what she was telling me was like, when I channel, I have to make sure that I haven't eaten anything. I have to make sure that I meditate for X amount of time. I have to make sure that I do this and I make sure that I do that. And I like to do it this way and that way. And so an hour-long filmed video takes 4 or 5 hours. And I kept my mouth shut because I don't operate that way. When I started channeling, when I started sitting down and doing this, I had already spent 2 years cultivating my craft, cultivating how I channel, how the cards speak to me, how I receive from the energies. It was a long duration of time that I spent behind the camera doing a lot of work without anything ever being produced because I wanted to learn how I channel, how I work, how I do these things. Everybody has their own method. But if you're struggling with time management because someone has created some sort of misconception within your mind that it has to take X amount of time for something to happen, then the more that you believe that, the more that you actually energetically kick that energy out into the universe, and you're signaling the universe to move slowly in stuff. You're telling the universe, no, I don't have time for this. I have this and this and this. And now you're not focused on what you're being called to do, on what your heart and your soul are calling you to do, on your creativity. You're not managing that time well because you are convinced based off of some sort of misconception of time and time it takes to do these things that you can't do that in this amount of time. So, for instance, the videos that I do that are like 3-4 hour long videos take me about a day. Start to finish, editing, uploading, it takes me about a day. And I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. I'm telling you this because I streamline my processes and I manage my time and I focus when I'm channeling. And I never had any misconceptions prior to when I started doing this, that this was supposed to go a different way, that it was supposed to be more challenging, that it was supposed to do this or supposed to do that. So it's about how you perceive it right now and whether or not that is a misconception. So what I'm getting from your guides is if you want to get back into the creative flow, you have to realize that you're creating an illusionary or a misconception within your own mind and your own energy field that there's not enough time for you to create. And in order to circumvent this, you have to actually reframe how you view time and how you view the creative process and the time that it takes you to actually produce something in the creative process and what you perceive to be perfect. Because I guarantee you guys, Monet didn't think that his paintings were perfect. He just created to create. He painted because it filled him up with joy and with pleasure, and it was beautiful. And when he put those paintings out, there were a lot of people that were like, this is chaos, this is mayhem, this is garbage. And yet it wasn't. It was a work of art. It was a masterpiece. So who are you to say what you may perceive as being imperfect may be someone's perfect? And when we create, when we step into the creative flow, there are times where we don't realize that what we're creating is not actually for us. And that can be scary in and of itself. Now that there's another preconceived notion is that we create solely for ourselves. But who are we the ones that are going to sit around and stare at the things that we've created after we're gone? No. The words that I write in books, those aren't for me. Those are for other people. I got enjoyment out of them while I was writing, but when I put those words into the world, it was with the intention of helping people, helping others. It wasn't with the intention of me continually rereading my books. It was for me to reach other people, to help them feel seen, heard, understood through the same experiences that I have gone through. So in this way, it's about changing these preconceived notions so that you can free yourself, find this freedom, find this illumination within yourself of awareness, of mental space in order to allow yourself to create. Let certain things be handled in your life by the universe. Surrender certain things to the universe. You are not meant to do everything yourself. And as you allow yourself to let go of that, I need to do everything myself, that's when you start managing your time better, because you actually find you have a lot more time on your hands. So this card right here, even though it is a tarot card, it is, excuse me, I'm actually using them a lot more along the lines of oracle cards because the imagery on them is just so beautiful, inspiring, and triggers my gifts so well. So it actually is the card that represents you right now on your creative journey. And then I'm going to pull some dream decoder cards to see what your subconscious and unconscious minds are influencing this part of you. Sorry, I looked over on the edge of my desk over here and Willow's just like sprawled out on her back. She's so cute. She's such a cute little pup. All right, let's see what the card says. So we've got the Six of Fire. So this is about right now, you're in this state of wanting this awareness, wanting to be, it's like you want to rise above the normal way of doing things. You've got a ship that's a hot air balloon. So ships usually travel by water, but you want to travel by air. And in order to travel by air, you have to realize that you have to be able to break out of what they say ships do. So again, we're coming back to the Iava and the dissolving misconceptions. You're at a state right now where you're actually ready to do this. You're ready for these misconceptions to be dissolved. You're ready to move beyond this mental construct that you have to do it all. There isn't enough time in the day. And find your path and your purpose and your way to creating what you want to create. So let's get some dream decoders. What is holding you back from really embracing this elevation above the preconceived notions? Or what is impacting it right now? Spirit and guides for pile 3. Okay. All right. We have deceased people and insects and reptiles. Okay. I just heard the creepy crawlies inside your mind. And with deceased people, I'm not actually getting like this is necessarily about someone who has passed. For some of you, it is. For one of you whose energy I do recognize, this is someone that you deeply care about, who's here to help get the creepy crawlies out of your mind. For others of you, this deceased people is literally your guides are constantly coming into your dream state to help you see the creepy crawlies is what I like to call them. The creepy crawlies, the insects, the snakes, the bugs, the things that we look at and they're just these tiny little things, but we go, oh my God, it's so gross, it's so disgusting, it's so fearful. And we run away from it. But really there's something teeny, teeny, tiny, and all we would have to do is step on it. Like we are significantly bigger. I'm thinking more along the lines of the spiders. Like we're terrified of spiders. Granted, if you see a black widow spider, I would not suggest engaging with it. I would definitely suggest like backing away slowly so you don't piss it off and then finding a way to get it out of your house. You know, you don't have to kill it if you don't want to. But here's the thing. I understand that like there's a sacredness of life because I've set spiders free and I used to have horrible arachnophobia, like true blue arachnophobia. I used to have it. But there is an essence of learning your own power over these pieces of you. So for instance, if you're having nightmares at night and you are having nightmares of bugs, it's about you realizing that you have the power to step on it. These bugs and snakes are representations of those preconceived notions, of those misconceptions within your brain. And your guides are bringing those to you so that you can break yourself free of it, so that you can actually learn how to take a new route, a new direction. So you can learn that you're not meant to do the things that normal people do. You're not meant to flow in the way that normal people flow. It's like me with channeling. I don't channel the same way that other readers channel. I don't spend a ton of time in deep trance meditation. There are times when I'm called into trance meditation, but it is very, very rare. Most of the time, I set the cards out and I let the energy set. And I let the energy come in and I stay open to that. And then I sit down and I channel the messages. Most of the time, that's how my process works. There are some, more private parts of my process that I'm not going to mention just because, trade secrets and whatnot. I mean, I can talk like I'm a big conglomerate, whatever. I don't know. I'm feeling weird today. That's the best I have. But, we all have our own process. And when you allow the mentality, the notions, the conceptions and what misconceptions of other people come in and dictate how you do that, you're essentially spending your life focusing on what is gone, what is past, what you can't have, where time is going and whether it's flowing properly, and you're not really engaging in it. This is asking you to seek out some outside support. And by, I know that sounds really weird because it's like, wait, what? I don't mean outside support like me or like a guru or like another reader or like another artist. I mean outside support like your guides. Your guides can bring these creepy crawlies up into your brain a lot easier than you have a chance of doing it. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, like, I've had to have my guides yank out the really stubborn parts within my own unconscious and subconscious mind because I couldn't get at it myself. A lot of times they do that in the dream state. They come to you in a dream state and give you this inspiration. Let yourself go out of the box. Let yourself be that ship that sails across the 7 skies instead of the 7 seas. Let yourself be that, because that's how you get into the creative flow, is embracing who you are, your uniqueness, your unique styling. Don't keep telling yourself these negative connotations and notions and whatever. Don't tell yourself these negative thoughts over and over and over again, because they're based off of someone else. They're not based off of you and what you are capable of doing. They're based off of what someone else has told you can or cannot do. And I did want to let you guys know, I am not intending to pull tarot cards. So we're just going to take a look at the oracle cards, get the completion of the message, and then I'm going to let you guys go. So we have delight. And believing in spiritual guidance gives me certainty and the freedom to keep dreaming, even when I can't yet see the result. Exactly. Okay. This is about you finding the joy in every moment of your life. Delight talks about joy, fulfillment, embracing the fun of life, not feeling like, oh my gosh, there's not enough time for this, and this. It's saying, okay, I know what my priorities are and I'm going to prioritize these things, but I'm also going to prioritize having fun. I'm going to believe that I have the guidance and the support and the love from the universe and from my guides. And because of that, I'm going to know that what I produce and what I create is meant for a huge audience. It's meant for someone outside of myself. It is meant to be seen, to be heard, to be known in whatever way it is that you create. It's meant for the world. And because of that, I trust that I can keep dreaming, creating, and moving forward in my unique way of moving and enjoying every second of it, because I can enjoy every second of my life. That's a much better way of managing your time. Manage time management in a state of enjoyment rather than feeling as though this is a duty, an obligation, a requirement. And shifting into this is really fun. I really enjoy this. I love this. It helps speed up chores. It helps speed up the priorities that have to be taken care of in the mundane world, in your life, paying the bills, going to work, et cetera, how you apply it to whatever it means in your life. It helps you to enjoy that. And then when you start enjoying that, then it goes faster. And the faster that it goes, the more time you find you have on your hands. You start sleeping better, eating better, taking better care of yourself. And then from there, you start creating all the time. And you start realizing how much of your life you're creating. And as you realize how much of your life you're creating, you actually pour more into creation. And as you pour more into creation, you start managing your time even better because you already are now experiencing what it's like to live a creative existence. It builds and snowballs from there. And it's a really beautiful, step-by-step thing that you can do. And your guides are there to guide you, to take you, to show you each of these steps so that you know that you can do this. So you focus on what is right for you first and foremost, because when you do that, then what you produce ends up being right for other people, because people need what you see, what you know, what you create. Then we have my super attractor power comes from how I feel. Yes, my faith in love and joy and the joy I put out. You see, if you feel like it's going to take forever, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. If you stay in that feeling of how other people have said this has to be, you continue to stifle your ability to attract everything that you need and want and desire in your life. You actually halt it because you're not stepping into a state of belief and faith and trust. But the more you do these things, the more that this builds and builds and builds, and your life grows into this beautiful, attractive energy of, I know what I'm here for, and I know what I'm doing, and I know what I'm worth, and I know what I'm meant for, and I'm going to put that out there, and I'm going to create, and I'm going to express, and I'm going to dance this dance of life. And everything from that point forward becomes nothing more or less than a dance of life. And it's very, very beautiful here to sit and witness. So let's see your final card. Stand still. See? Yes. Okay, this is why I was getting that dishes energy. Okay, here's the thing, guys. So when I do I used to hate doing dishes by hand. After my marriage, my first marriage, it was very toxic. The physical abuse that I suffered actually started because I didn't do the dishes one day. Because I was reading New Moon, the second book in the Twilight Saga. I was reading it for the second time in my life. And I was very, like, when I read, I get enthralled. I escape into the book. I become the book. And so it's very hard to reach me because I'm very lost in the words. I find books to be fascinating, illuminating, recharging, rejuvenating. They are just incredible to me because they're an escape, but not in an unhealthy way, because they still engage with life. But my point here is that I used to hate doing the dishes by hand because I got beat for not doing the dishes by hand. And it was really hard for me. It was really hard for me to be like, okay, I'm going to read this book again. I didn't touch that book until 2019. I didn't touch the Twilight series again after that day until 2019. I carried it from house to house, but I did not pick up the books and read them. I couldn't do it. Every time I would touch New Moon, I would get nauseous. I would feel sick. I would feel like I needed to hide. I would be terrified. It triggered my PTSD immediately. When my dishwasher broke in my house that I live in now, I was like, no, I'm not washing dishes by hand. Like, I can't. It triggered my trauma. But over time, I remembered that I used to sit at the kitchen window and do the dishes, and I would imagine my life differently. I would picture my life free of my ex-husband. I would picture myself with my kids laughing and happy. I would picture myself writing and enjoying my life and doing the things that I want to do without having to ask permission, without having to live in fear, without having to live in this state that I was living in. I would picture all of what I live now back then. Sometimes we're asked to stand absolutely still to allow inspiration to come in, to delight in the absolute present moment so that we can surrender these fears and find a greater awareness of the things, the creepy crawlies, the misconceptions. Sorry, guys, that we've been holding on to, so that we can let those go and move forward and create from that space. This is asking you to allow yourself to get still and to delight in every single moment, and to watch as you stop constructing your day surrounding what the past says or what someone else has said, and you start allowing the truth of your energy, your creativity, and your capability to dictate how you move. Allow those preconceived notions and those misconceptions to be dissolved as you allow yourself this enjoyment of being still, doing the menial tasks, and realizing how much time you free up in your life, in your journey, in your creativity by seeing these things and releasing them. Okay, pile 3. This is all I am seeing for you guys. I want to say thank you so much for being here. You guys are such an inspiration all the time. Every time I work with pile 3s, you guys are such an inspiration, and I'm always in awe. So I want to say thank you so much. I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between our energies. I want to say thank you so much, Spirit. Spirit, this was such an amazing message, and I know that this message is going to help people, and I am truly, truly honored to be able to be here and to share your insights with the collective. Thank you. All right, pile 3, this is all I'm seeing for you guys. If this resonated, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. Down in the description box, you're going to find links to my sister channel, Rising Sign Messages, as well as links to donate to my channel, book a personal reading, and links to my author page on Amazon. So go check out my books. Let me know in the comment section below how this resonated. And I just want to do a quick reminder. Next week on the 23rd, I am doing a collaboration with Odessa Mall and Damselflies. And anyone who likes, comments, and subscribes to my channel, as well as Odessa's and Damselflies, will receive an entry into a drawing to receive a free 15-minute reading from me. So if you guys want a free reading from me, definitely make sure you guys like and comment on all 3 of those videos on the 23rd. So, all right, guys, that is all I have for you. I want to say thank you again so much. And I love you guys so much. My heart goes out to you and I love you. Create, pile 3, create. I'll see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, pile 4. Excuse me. If you chose the Shanti symbol, this is your message about getting you back into that creative flow. So the card that you got from Archangel Gabriel is Vision Board. It says, create a board with images and words that inspire you. And the Shanti symbol brings peace, but it also helps you to release fears and overcome things like insomnia and restlessness. And restlessness because of nightmares. So the weird thing about this is I'm not actually getting that insomnia or nightmares energy. And with Vision Board, I'm getting kind of something a little bit different. I never was the person who was one for positive affirmations. Early in my journey, it took me a while to come around to it. I thought it was, I diminished it myself, like, oh, you're going to look stupid if you stand in the mirror and you talk nice to yourself. So I actually had to trick my own brain. And without realizing what I was doing, I was creating vision boards in my own very unique way. So in my office, especially like right now, I can look this direction. And when I look over here to this side of like my setup, there's actually a wall behind my camera. And I have this wall hanging that I actually have 2 wall hangings that I will say inherited after a friend of mine passed away. And she had these, and something about them was like, no, these are meant for you. Like it's almost as though her loss was a huge Kickstarter for this journey. It was as though that was actually one of my catalyst moments for the journey that I'm on. But it was as though she wanted to give me something to pick me up when I was down, because she was not able to pick herself up when she was down. And I'm mentioning this because those are the images that I was drawn to looking at as I was tapping into your energy. And one of them says, wake up, kick ass, repeat. And I've had that sitting within my line of sight since I started doing this creative process, because I need to constantly pump myself up on this journey. The other one I had sitting in storage for almost a year after she died, and it says, like a boss. It's got all these clips on it. And so with these clips, what I did was I took positive affirmations about embracing my gifts, embracing my psychic gifts and my intuition. And if you guys heard, I just let Willow in. Hi, baby. Hi, Willow. Say hi, pile 4. Say hi. She's like, no, Mom, I want to just jump on you and love you. Oh, hello. Okay. Hi. You can't lick my brain. Say hi to pile 4. Say hi. Say hi, pile 4. So I put all these up, and I go through these phases where I would actually kind of zone out in that direction without realizing it. It was essentially like my brain and my mind. If you guys can see the shaking, it's literally Willow underneath the desk, like, Mom, love me. Without realizing it, I'm staring at these positive affirmations. And over time, I began to really have far more confidence in my psychic abilities, in my intuition, in what I see, in who I am, in the truth of myself. And it was this beautiful kind of transformative thing. We get told, if you look just about anywhere with this positive affirmations and personal growth stuff, you're going to see stuff about vision boards. And it can feel really foolish. Like, am I really going to do this? Give me just a moment, guys. I'm going to love on Willow for just a minute. All right, I'm back. So what I was saying about, you go anywhere for personal growth, you're going to find people who are going to talk to you about vision boards, making a vision board. Sometimes we need to make a vision board when we don't know what we want, when we aren't sure. If we're in a state of anxiety, of fear, of worries, of doubts, we may not always know what it is that we want to create in our lives, what it is that we want to bring in. And we can feel very disconnected, not just from the universe or from others or our own creativity, but we can feel disconnected from our path, our purpose, from spirit, from faith and hope and belief and creativity. Like, there's so many things that you can feel disconnected from. Over time, when you step into this energy of finding more peace and more harmony in things, and allow yourself to kind of step into a more creative rhythm with even decorating. Like, I'm getting a lot of interior design energy here, where it's kind of like, what if you could create a vision board that wasn't your typical vision board? You know, like a vision board, you cut pictures of it out in a magazine and keywords out in a magazine, or, you know, you print it off from online and you just put it up on things. But what if you actually created an entire environment that was aesthetically pleasing, but was essentially like a gigantic vision board throughout your entire house? In that way, every time you lay your head down to sleep, you're surrounding yourself with these moments of positivity, with these things or this person that you want to be. It's coming into this state of understanding who you are, what you are here for, and how to love yourself more fully. And pile 4, with you in particular, it feels like this back and forth journey of, I love myself, I don't love myself. I love myself, I don't love myself. And that vacillation is normal on this path, in this journey we call life. That's a normal vacillation. But when we are doing this kind of vacillation, it's really hard to feel inspired. It's really hard to really enjoy the fullness of our creativity, because we can't fully tap into that creative nature that we have within, because we're not fully allowing ourselves to love who we are. When we don't love ourselves fully and completely, we're not actually loving the things that we create, because we don't see ourselves as part of those creations. And I'm not talking about attachment or anything like that when it comes to our creations. I'm talking about understanding that everything that you create carries an essence of spirit with it. It carries an essence of love in and through everything that you create, because you carry within you the essence of spirit. You carry within you the essence of love. And because it's within you, it's also within everything that you create. Willow, can we not lick my desk? Thank you, baby. Hi, Willow. She really likes your guys' energy. She did not want to leave the office. She just wanted to be in here with Mom and with you guys. So she really loves your guys' energy. Yeah. Okay. So pile 4, now that she's attacking her tail on the floor, we're going to take a look at some of the other cards here. For those of you who are really drawn to the idea of a vision board, absolutely go for it. I am actually getting this energy like this is a repetitive thing that you've heard. And I sigh, because I kind of get that energy like, God, not this vision board crap again. Do it in your own way. Make it something unique. Like I said, I have that like a boss hanging. And right above it, I have Monica's Law, which I talked about in Lightworker Law of Attraction, where it says, what can go right will go better. What can go wrong will go right. And I've got an ankh and leaves and a picture of me as a baby with my dad. And I've got all of these different sayings about my psychic gifts, these positive affirmations that I got from the book Psychic Gift by Matt Aaron, I think. And I look at this every single day. I read them every day. I don't even have to actively push myself to read them and hear myself reading them in my head, because when I look at them, it's like they're being like superimposed inside of my brain. And the more that I interact with them, the more confident I am in my gifts. Don't put yourself into a box of what everybody else says a vision board has to look like. What do you need right now? What kind of healing and peace and balance and harmony do you need within yourself right now in this moment, in order to remember that you are a creative being, in order to remember that you carry the essence and the spark of spirit within you, in order to remember that you are love and you create from love, out of love, and things that are in essence love? What do you need right here and right now for that? Don't shame yourself for that, and don't feel as though you have to follow the trends. Take this notion and create your own unique way of working with it. Just like Shanti talks about healing the past cycles. What if you healed the past way of vision boarding and turned it into something completely different? Even just engaging in that puts you back in that creative flow. This is about remembering who you are and your essence as a creator right now. There's this healing that needs to be done surrounding your fears of being able to create, of being able to actually envision what it is that you want. Some of you may be clairvoyants that I get this sense that you may be struggling with accessing your clairvoyancy. A vision board in some way, shape, or form, or form can actually help you, because when you look at something for long enough and then you close your eyes, you can actually actively practice having what you're staring at be superimposed when your eyes close, so that you work on that clairvoyance, work on opening that third eye. You can actually make a vision board within your own mind by doing this, so that you don't. For those of you who don't like magazines, you don't want to buy magazines, and hell, I don't blame you. Magazines these days are as expensive, if not more, than books. So to me, it's kind of outrageous. So create a mental vision board. See the images and focus on those images. It's kind of like going into a meditative state and looking at an image and then superimposing it in your brain. Where do you want this on your vision board? What part of your life is this important for? And then build from there. It's about stepping out of what everybody else is saying or doing or portraying in the world and saying, how can I apply this to my situation to find more joy, to find delight in every moment, to find this sense of love within myself for myself? So without continuing down this rabbit hole, because I have this feeling that this rabbit hole is significantly deeper if I wanted to dig into this energy, I want to take a look at the energy that you're embodying right now. This tarot card right here is going to give me an image of what it is that you're embodying right now, but I am not using it in a traditional tarot sense. I am actually using it more as an oracle card. I'm using the imagery of it and whatever the numerology or the element speaks to me, if it speaks to me in the moment. I didn't have any intention of pulling oracle or pulling tarot cards for this reading. It just was one of those where I wanted a more simplistic way to help you get back into this flow. And we have to identify what's going on to get you there. So after we look at this, I'm going to be shuffling from the Dream Decoder deck to get a message or images that are tied to what's going on in your mind, it could be your unconscious, your subconscious, or even your conscious mind in this moment that could be impacting you and being able to more fully envision this healing and this clarity and this peace for your creative flow. So I just wanted to explain that for you guys. So let's take a look. Whoa, we have the Hierophant. Okay, so this to me is talking about your your belief and faith in yourself in stepping into a leadership role. But it's, again, I was getting that energy of taking traditions and kind of shifting out of traditions. Sorry, guys, I had to let Willow back out. This is like a true norm for my channel at this point. It almost seems kind of like I bring an air of chaos here. Thank you for my Uranus placement. But I honestly, like, guys, I'm human. I've got dogs, I've got kids, I've got cats. This is just how my life goes. Even if I wasn't filming, I would have a dog that would be whining at the door, who would want in and who would want up and who would want to play for a little bit. And then she would want out so she can go mess around with her best friend, Jade. Because it's just the way that my life goes. And so in order for me to share my gifts with you, I also want to share the normalcy of the way that my life goes. Because I feel like it's really important for you guys to understand that I am who I am and this is how my life is, but this is how I work with Spirit. Spirit works with me in all of this all the time. And Spirit works with you in all of this all the time. And this goes back directly to this card here, because this card feels so very, I get this ancient traditions energy. And that's why I was getting with the vision board, kind of breaking with the traditional way of doing a vision board and allowing yourself to do it in a new way. And realizing that you have the power within you to do this. Willow, sweetie, be nice, be kind, Willow, be kind. Thank you. That's very kind. So Willow is 6 months old right now. And she's pretty well full grown. So she's what we call a perma puppy. She's permanently in puppy form because of the different breeds that are mixed in her. But she gets bitey because, when dogs are puppies, they teeth just like babies do. And so they like to chew on things. So she likes to chew on my acrylic nails. So she'll sit and chew on my fingers until it gets too hard, and I'll tell her to be kind. She'll pull her mouth back and she'll lick me. So I've trained her to be kind instead of saying no. And again, the reason why the best part about all of this, the way that I'm sharing this with you, is I'm helping you understand what Spirit means by doing things in your own unique way. So most dog owners are going to train their dog by saying yes, no, or we have Jade trained with hand signals because she has German Shepherd in her, and German Shepherds are very apt to learning based off of hand signals. And Willow, on the other hand, is a husky. So she's sassy. She fights back. She argues back. So I have to give her something to understand. And so I taught her what kindness is from the perspective of a dog. Like, kindness is not fighting. What? Yes, I'm talking about you. It's all in love. I'm teaching. Yeah? Okay. So this is asking you to think about the ways in which you have structured yourself, because the figure on this card understands great depths of power internally, externally, and how these blend and move together. You may be called to witchcraft. Like, that may be something. Did you just wink at me and then yell at me? Gosh, you're sass. You're a sassafras. Witchcraft may be something that actually helps you get into your creative flow. That would be why Matt Aaron's book is so prominent in your energy as well, is learning how to really tap into that inner magic you have. All right, I'm going to go let Willow outside. One moment. All right, guys. So I am guessing that you guys have a lot of chaos in your life. Little time for silence, little time for trying to do things by the book in and of itself. And that can lead to late nights, staying up, trying to be creative. Oh, I know somebody's energy in here. Late nights, trying to be creative, things like that. And I've been there. I've been in that state. When my son Cooper was born, he was born 5 weeks premature, and he was very sick as a baby. He was very, very sick. He did not sleep soundly through the night for the first year and a half of his life because he was on a high dose blood pressure medication because he had a vascular tumor on his face that by the time we had rushed him down to Minnesota to be treated at a larger hospital, he had almost gone blind in one of his eyes and it had completely occluded one of his nasal passages. So he was struggling to breathe that night. It was an incredibly terrifying time, but he was on this medication. So I did not get sleep for like the first year and a half of his life. I was so strung out. I could barely find time to read, let alone try to write. It was like I just couldn't. The only time I ever found for myself was in the middle of the night in between his medicine and his feedings. Sometimes we want a little bit more structure. We want to get in touch with something different, something more primal, something more natural to who we are. You have this ancient primalness within you. There's so many things right now that I feel like are in your outside world that are really clouding your ability to get into the creative flow. But it's about redefining and restructuring and reframing within your mind what it means to get into the creative flow and what it means to be surrounded by the level of chaos that you are surrounded by in order to do that. So I don't think of anything as being a mistake. And for you guys, this message is going way longer than I intended for it to go already. And that's because I needed to understand the energy that you're in order for this message to come out the way that it needs to come out, because there is change that needs to come in. It's about realizing that even in the chaos and the mayhem, you can find peace, safety, structure, foundation, and form your own kind of tradition or your own. It's like forming your own sense of faith in the ways in which you can access creativity. I love how this is coming through because you guys remind me of another pile, and I'm not going to mention which pile, but this has been an energy that I've talked to Ember Moon Tarot about this on a regular basis. This is something her and I talk about nearly daily right now, is about how the perception of certain things don't always work out that way in her life or in my life. How certain things work differently. And, we've compared things like our human design charts and our path and our purpose and the experiences that we've had in order to see like, okay, these are things that are, similar, but we still have this. I have 4 kids, she has 3, or she's got 2. And granted, I only have 3 kids living with me, but I have a bigger house versus hers. And, I don't go out a lot, but she goes out more than I do. I don't have a lot of friends where I'm at and she does. So we have these differing things, but we still both understand that the foundations and the structures that we build our spiritual path upon has a lot to do with being different and valuing that within ourselves and within each other. And maybe this is something that you guys are seeking, is friendship and support that really show you how being different and being unique is something to be valued. And it could be that you have had this feeling that you can't be that way. And now I'm getting the feeling again from my friend Michelle, and she just couldn't see her own uniqueness enough to be able to embrace it and to heal through it. But after she passed, her energy stuck around me a lot, and not in a negative way, but in a way of like, hey, I missed this lesson. I didn't learn this lesson in my life. Please make sure that you learn this lesson in your life. And I value the perspective and the insight that she has now on the other side than she did when she was alive. But she's taught me a lot from her death. And sometimes there are things that we have to learn how to value ourselves. And we learn that through harder things. This is not the reading I expected for you guys at all. However, I do want to mention when I was shuffling the cards, I had 3 cards pop out, and I battled against your cards, against your deck or your placement about doing a pile 4, because this was the back of the deck energy. And I just kept hearing yes every time I left it alone and out. I was like, okay, yes. But I kept wanting to pull it away and put it away because of myself and my own but it didn't go in the same way that all the other ones came out. And now I understand it completely. It's almost not even about the vision board itself so much as it's about the energy right now of it having been the back of the deck energy. That little thing that we put away, that we don't look at, that we don't acknowledge. Maybe you guys have a vision board that you have made that you put away that you don't acknowledge. And it's like, no, but if you pull this out, you'll see how much of your life has changed and aligned to this vision that you've had. When we get in the throes of healing, we forget what it's like to be creators. We forget that we are the creators. We are the masters. We are the structure and the ruler and the leader of this way of being. We forget that because we're healing. And it's normal. It's expected. Look, literally we have apocalypse. It's like there's this fear within you that if you were to embrace all of everything, that it's like the world would have to end. I spent a lot of years of my life, I would have a birthday and be like, I'm not supposed to be alive. I'm not supposed to be alive. It would be like I got to, the first time I felt this, I want to say I was 8, 9 years old. And it was very weird. It was very unusual for a child that age. And even I was self-aware enough to know it wasn't a normal feeling. But I would feel that like I shouldn't be alive. How am I alive? I felt that way up until my 33rd birthday. And I haven't felt that way since any subsequent birthdays after turning 33. But I did up until my 33rd birthday. And it was my 33rd, that year was when I found out that I was a vanished twin. And when I healed that, then I understood that there was this perspective that I had been carrying since the day that I was born, that I wasn't supposed to be alive because I was literally carrying the DNA of my dead twin brother. And that feeling that, this way of being is not right and it would bring about the end of the world, or there are so many fears that would bring about the end of the world. It's fears. It's literally ingrained fears. And it's about learning how to let those go, learning how to not feel like the whole world would end if you were just to be yourself, that the whole world would just collapse around you if you were to create what you want to create. And then we have cell phones. With the apocalypse and with cell phones, it's kind of like, whoa, okay, what if in your subconscious mind, there's this kind of factor of the only time that you get that is alone time is when you're on your phone. So what if you learned some sort of creation that you can do from your cell phone? This is just out like off the wall. I don't know, but I do know that there are like different tarot apps and oracle apps and astrology apps and things like that. Instead of doing social media, what if you engaged in apps like that were mindful apps that help you in those little quiet moments so that all the chaos going around you and you not being able to engage in creativity the way that you would want does not feel like the world is collapsing around you anymore. It's realizing the strength and the foundations that you have right now. This is, like I said, this is like a whole new ballpark energy, not a message I was expecting for you guys. So we have going forward and oh my God, look at that. In stillness, I receive. Literally in stillness, I receive. It's in those small moments. So you could have those small moments here. and allow yourself to really be like, okay, I'm going to take the leadership role in my own healing. I'm going to step into this space of knowing my power, knowing my truth. For some of you, this feeling of not being able to control anything may have, and guys, I'm not a medical doctor, but I have to say what's coming through on this one. It may have something to do with hormonal fluctuations. And this can absolutely apply to men as well, because we all have an endocrine system within us. And men and women can have endocrine abnormalities, or you can have a deficiency or an overproduction. It doesn't, like, however it's playing out, this is not gender specific. So please understand, this is not gender specific. However, because we all have divine feminine energy within us and we all are born with a very unique natal chart, sometimes we can actually understand our bodies by aligning to a specific cycle within Mother Nature. And you choose the cycle. For many people, and especially women, because we are lunar in nature, when it comes to anything like this, the phases of the moon are amazing to work with. And working with them, tracking the moon, tracking how you're feeling during each moon phase, during each day. And then you can actually use apps to find out where the moon is falling within your natal chart. And granted, let me find the moon app that I use. I use Moon Calendar. If you can see here, I use Moon Calendar as the app that I use. And the only issue that I have with this app is that it uses Placidus as a house system, and I use whole sign system. But because I am so aware of my own astrology and the way that I set up my astrological houses, I can see where the moon is and how the interactions are based off of this app, and then discern it for myself as far as house and place in my life. When you get to a state where you feel comfortable enough to figure out how the energies are impacting you, and really it's about learning how to allow yourself to take control of it, you can actually learn how to move with the moon going forward so that you can balance this out, this feeling of chaos and mayhem. You can balance this out. You can't do it for everybody in your family, but you can do it for yourself. And when you do it for yourself and you find that inner sense of peace and that inner sense of safety and calm and groundedness, in that moment, that is when you start exuding that into your everyday life, and then your everyday life starts reflecting that back to you. So the people around you start calming down too. This is about you learning how to stand in your own power. And even if the world is caving down, you know where you're going and what you're trying to create now. So this is about you kind of allowing for some moments of stillness in the midst of chaos. And guys, I'm living, breathing proof that you can do that, because you guys experienced so much chaos in the beginning of this reading. And I just saw 33, 44, and 222 on my computer screen as I turn to look, because the cards are so off balance right now, and I can't seem to even them out in the ways that I would want to. But that those numbers may be significant for you. You may see them in the future. You may start seeing those so that you can start tapping into this stillness a little bit deeper. It says, I am kind and loving towards others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. And this exactly is what I've been talking about. It's that recognition that even though you may be surrounded by chaos, I'm actually getting, for some of you, I'm getting like dorm room vibes, like you have roommates and your roommates are boisterous is the word that I would use. I could use other words, but I'm just going to say boisterous. And it makes it really hard to focus. It's like, let me try and study while everybody's having a party in the dorm. It's challenging. You can't go to the library because the library is closed for some reason, whatever. You have to figure something out. It's learning how not to explode, learning how not to catastrophize, learning how to receive guidance, and learning how to receive your own sense of peace and healing and harmony within, and saying, okay, this is what I'm doing. Please respect this boundary. That will keep you in these positive emotions and help you with your creations. Whoa, my left ear just started ringing really high. And then we have solitude. See, we can't always find solitude in everything. I got to tell you guys the truth. When I see solitude in the cell phone, I'm literally getting the energy of, if it takes you going to the bathroom and leaving your cell phone like on the desk, and on the counter or somewhere away from you, and you just use that time in the bathroom to just breathe deeply and get into stillness. It's small steps forward to break yourself out of this chaos energy and get yourself back into a state of calm so you can move forward. To get you into the creative flow, you don't have to be alone, but when you set your boundaries and you keep your energy within a bubble of what is right for you in this good feeling emotions energy, and you feel calm within yourself, even if there's chaos everywhere, you become the eye of the storm. And you can see the sky clearly above you when you're standing in the eye of a storm. In the center of a tornado, you can see everything swirling around you, but you can also see a calm blue sky kind of thing. You can do this even in the midst of this chaos. It's about restructuring what you believe is possible outside of the bounds of what everybody else says. It's going out of the box, going out of the norm, restructuring and reframing within yourself, and finding small tools and tips and tricks along the way that you can harness at your fingertips. And that's the beauty of cell phones. We can harness so much at our fingertips, but there are times where we even need to put that down and allow ourselves to just sit in stillness and receive. And if it takes you, in the shower, going to the bathroom, whatever it takes, let yourself have that time. Gift yourself that time, because that will help you get back to your creative flow. That will help you build that internal vision board. And as that builds, you build that internal structure and stability in your foundations. And that is really important for you guys, pile 4. Okay, pile 4, this is all I'm getting for you guys. I really hope this resonated. I would love to know, because this felt like it was all over the place and way off topic, but really, really needed is what I'm getting. So I would love to know if this resonated. I do want to say thank you so much for you guys being here, for, going through the chaos of this reading. I always love when these happen, because I know these are the ones that end up resonating with way more people than I think it will. And I do want to also say thank you to your guides and my guides for connecting our energies and, helping this energy come through and be channeled. I do want to say thank you so much, Spirit. Spirit, I could feel this energy, and it feels very familiar to me. It feels a lot like my own a while back, but I also very much appreciate the ways in which it was able to flow through my filter so I could find even a greater sense of peace in what I do and why I'm here. So thank you so much, Spirit. Okay, pile 4. If this resonated, please do those YouTubey things so you guys can support my channel. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. That way you get notified when I upload next. Let me know in the comment section below how this resonated. Put a tornado emoji or something. I think they have those. And yeah, just let me know. Down in the description box, there are links to my sister channel, Rising Sign Messages, to donate to my channel, book a personal reading, and check my author page on Amazon for my self-help books and my retrograde guidebooks. As well as, I did want to announce before I let you guys go, because I know this is getting longer than I planned on. On the 23rd, I am doing a collaboration with Odessa Mall and with Damselflies. I'm super excited for this collaboration. And for everyone who likes, comments, and subscribes to all 3 channels during this time, you will be entered into a drawing to win a free 15-minute reading from me. So make sure that you guys check that out. I'm really excited, and I would love to do a reading for one of you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to leave you here. Thank you again for being here, Pile 4. I am sending you all the love. I hope this healing helped, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye.